Why life as a male bee sucks. The cruelest job in a honeybee colony belongs to the one bee who never makes honey. He does not clean the hive. He does not guard the entrance. He does not collect nectar, raise babies, or sting enemies. He is born for one flight, one chance, and one ending. If he succeeds, he dies. If he fails, the hive eventually throws him out. That is life as a male honeybee, a drone. He begins in a larger cell on the comb, wider than the worker cells around it, as if the hive has already made room for a body that will not fit into ordinary work. Sealed inside the warm darkness, he grows while thousands of female workers move around him like parts of a living machine, building wax, feeding larvae, cooling the hive, and turning flowers into honey. But the drone is not being built for work. He comes from an unfertilized egg, which means he has a mother but no father. His sisters are made from fertilized eggs and inherit genes from both the queen and a male. He does not. Even his family tree looks like nature filed the paperwork wrong. At first, he is helpless. Workers feed him, warm him, and seal him in place while his body changes. He does not know that the same sisters caring for him are also the ones who will judge his usefulness later. Inside his capped cell, his larval body dissolves into transformation. Wings form, legs harden, huge eyes develop across the top of his head. When he finally emerges, he looks almost important. He is larger than a worker, thicker, heavier, with eyes so big they seem built for a life of surveillance. And they are. Those eyes are not for finding flowers, they are for finding a virgin queen in the sky. That is the first strange truth about him. Almost every part of his body points toward a moment that may never happen. He has no stinger, no pollen baskets, no wax glands for building the comb, no real career options. If a wasp attacks the entrance, he cannot defend the hive. If nectar is running low, he cannot help refill the pantry. If larvae need feeding, he is not the nurse. He eats from the colony's stores and waits for weather, timing, and chance. To humans, he looks lazy. To the hive, he is a gamble. And nature has given him the social life of a guy who shows up to the office, eats from the break room, and says his real contribution is vision. But the colony tolerates him because somewhere outside, another hive may release a queen who has never mated. If he reaches her, his genes may enter the future. So on warm afternoons, the hive opens into sunlight. Workers fly out to collect food. The drone flies out to become a possibility. He leaves the entrance and rises into open air, heading toward invisible aerial meeting places called drone congregation areas. These are not random patches of sky. Drones from many colonies return to them again and again, as if the landscape itself has marked a dating app location only bees can read. There, the air fills with males. Hundreds of bodies, sometimes thousands, all waiting for one queen. Most will never touch her. Birds watch from branches. Dragonflies cut through the air. Wind can push a weak flyer off course. A drone may spend day after day searching the sky and returning with nothing but hunger. And each afternoon repeats the same brutal question. Will today be the day his body matters? Then the queen appears. Not his queen from his own hive. A young queen from somewhere else, flying into the open sky for the most dangerous trip of her life. She is fast, powerful, and carrying the future of an entire colony inside her body before the colony even exists. The drones react instantly. The waiting cloud becomes a chase. A moving swarm forms behind her, sometimes called a drone comet. A trail of males racing after one female through sunlight. It sounds poetic until it becomes clear what is happening. Thousands of disposable bodies competing for a few seconds of contact. The drone climbs. His wings strain. His huge eyes lock onto the queen. Every soft day inside the hive, every meal given by workers, every useless hour spent waiting has led to this one aerial collision. If he is too slow, another male reaches her first. If he turns wrong, he falls behind. If a bird takes him, the story ends in a beak. But if he catches her, the prize is worse than failure. He mates with her in midair. For a brief moment, he becomes exactly what the hive made him to be. Then his reproductive organ everts and is torn away. His body cannot survive the success. He falls away from the queen and dies shortly after. The best drone in the sky wins by losing his life. The queen keeps flying. She may mate with several drones before returning home. Inside her body, their sperm can be stored and used for years, slowly becoming workers, queens, and the future labor force of a colony the males will never see. The drone does not get a family. He becomes a genetic echo, a successful disappearance. But most drones do not even get that. They return to the hive again and again, still alive, still hungry, still waiting. For a while, the colony keeps feeding them, because summer has flowers, and flowers mean fuel. Then the season begins to change. The air cools. Nectar becomes harder to find. The hive's mood shifts from expansion to survival. And suddenly, the drone's entire existence becomes expensive. Workers can clean, heat the winter cluster, protect the queen, and keep the colony alive until spring. The queen can restart the future when flowers return, but drones eat honey and do not make more. So the hive makes a decision, not emotional, not personal, just cold enough to survive. The same workers that once fed him begin pushing him toward the entrance. They pull at his legs. They shove his heavy body across the comb. They drive him out into the cold, then block him from coming back in. He has no sting to fight them, no food-gathering tools to save himself, no winter roll to justify the calories in his body. Outside the hive, he becomes what the colony always feared he might be, a cost with wings. He crawls near the entrance of the only home he ever knew, while the door closes behind him. Inside, the workers tighten around the queen. Heat stays in. Honey is guarded. The colony survives by removing the males that no longer serve its future. That is what makes his life so strange. He is not useless. He is worse than useless at the wrong time. In spring and summer, he is a genetic lottery ticket. In autumn, he is a mouth the colony cannot afford. If he succeeds in the sky, his body breaks. If he fails on the ground, his home rejects him. And somewhere above the flowers, a queen carries the future inside her, while the males who made it possible vanish from the story almost immediately. The hive will keep humming. Workers will keep building. The queen will keep laying. But the male bee was never meant to stay. He was built for one impossible chance to matter, and nature made sure there was no comfortable ending after that.